Hey writer, do you have writer's block? I think you might because you're watching this video, and if so, you are in the right place. I'm Karena Akhavein. I wrote the book, Writer's Block is a Pain in the Ass, but it's all in your head. What do I mean by that? I mean that writer's block is a symptom that comes from certain causes. And in my book, we find those causes, we identify them so that we can eliminate them and we can get rid of writer's block in a holistic way by changing your mindset. It's a beautiful thing. Let's get started, but before we do, don't forget to subscribe and click on the little bell icon so that you can find out every time I have a new video come out, full of great little tidbits and information that is completely crucial to getting you from aspiring writer to successful author. Okay, let's get started. The foundations of successful writing come from having the proper motivation, information, and inspiration. And if you have any kind of a breakdown of any one of those, that is going to give rise to writer's block. Let's start with motivation. So what is your motivation to write? Writing is a really tough thing to do. Writing a whole book is a huge enterprise, so you need to have the proper motivation. And often writers have a whole bunch of different types of motivation that are driving them to write their book. However, certain types of motivation can be a little problem if they are your key motivation. Let me tell you what I mean. For example, if you're writing to prove something to yourself or to other people around you, the people who said that you couldn't do it or that you thought you couldn't do it, and you're like, okay, look at me. Writer's block may rear its ugly head because your ego is going to start telling you that your book is not good enough. Your writing is not good enough. Once you get your ideas on paper, all of a sudden you're going to be like, this is not that thing that was going to impress my friends, family, and me. So you might get writer's block. You're going to have to find some more healthy forms of motivation. Another motivation that I hear a lot of writers mention, oh, I want to write a book because I want to make a lot of money and I want to be a famous writer and I want to really impact a lot of readers. And that's lovely, cool, and awesome, but that's kind of a tall order. First of all, you need to get that book written, you need to get it published, and you need to get it marketed. Those are a whole slew of steps that are going to happen before you get the fame, the money, and the power. So don't really think of that right now. I mean, have that be a dream, but that shouldn't be your unique motivation, because if it is, your brain's going to start saying, hey, honey, the chances of you being famous are slim, and it's going to start telling you, you know what, maybe you should be watching that fun TV show instead of wasting your time writing this book. So think about that. I think that a very healthy motivation is to find the fun in the writing. Find your love of the craft, find the pleasure in the different steps, find that satisfaction that comes from writing a really cool character or thinking of a really cool scene or meeting up with your writing group. Find fun in the process, and that's going to help writer's block stay at bay. Now let's talk about information. If you have any gaps in information, that is going to let writer's block come rushing in. What do I mean? Well, okay, let's say that you don't have the right information on how to write. You don't know how to write good dialogue. You don't know how to structure your novel. You don't know what makes a good antagonist. All of these holes in knowledge are things that you can very easily fix by just doing a tiny bit of research, much of it right here on this channel, but also you can do it elsewhere, but be careful not to get researchitis where you look too many things up and don't spend any time writing, but you can fill that hole in knowledge and then you can get right back to writing. Other types of lack of information are not knowing about the publishing process and not knowing what your options are as a writer. And if you don't know what it takes to publish a book, you might fall short of it because you didn't know that your book had to be a certain length, or you didn't know that books need to have a certain structure, or you didn't know that you needed to get it edited, or you didn't know that you're going to need to write a query letter and a synopsis, and you're going to need to pitch some agents, or you're going to need to do a whole thing, from cover to marketing when it comes to self-publishing. That's the other thing, is that if you don't know what it takes to market a book, and I'm not talking only about self-publishing, I'm talking about whether you self-publish or publish through a conventional publisher, marketing is what makes the difference between your book being seen and not seen. So you need to break that down. And if you don't know how that works, you're going to have a breakdown in the process. It's going to be a type of writer's block, that the fear of doing that might block you while you're writing as well. The last pillar of writing success is inspiration. That's what starts the whole thing, right? To have a great idea, to be inspired. We talked about ego a little bit. Well, if your ego comes rushing in after your initial inspiration, your ego is going to say, hey, this book isn't that great. This idea isn't that great. I mean, who are you to think that this is so wonderful? And you're going to get frozen by the enormity of your task of taking that initial inspiration and then making a whole entire book out of it. So how do you keep that from happening? Break your writing into manageable steps. Think about it in terms of tasks. Think, okay, instead of thinking I have to come up with this whole world, think I'm going to work on characters today, or I'm going to work on scenes today. I have this one scene that's going to be really fun, or I'm going to work on a setting today. Break it down into manageable steps. Writing a book becomes a formula. So you know that if you're stuck on one thing, there's another piece of the formula that you can be working on at the same time. Also, I mentioned writing groups before. They're such a valuable tool. Not only do they make writing more fun and they help to motivate you and they help to give you information, but they will also help with inspiration, where the people in your writing group are going to be your biggest fans. They're going to support you and cheer you on if you ever have any moment's hesitation. That's why I've been running a writing group in Marin for the past year, and it's been a lot of fun, but it's been such an education. It's really amazing to see how it helps my writers. So I'm not just plugging writing groups for the heck of it. I know they actually work. Okay, you guys, this was, I think, a manageable chunk to start you on the road of changing your mindset when it comes to writing so that you can eliminate writer's block. Be radically honest with yourself because it's going to help you in the process. And I will see you guys next time. In the meantime, keep on writing.